What's up, everybody? It is Terry. So it's been about a week since I've posted a road tripping video because the road trip's about done. I've been here for the last week in my hometown in Minonk, Illinois. Just kind of been a country bumpkin, fucking hillbilly for the last week, and it's been wonderful. I don't think I've changed my shirt more than twice in a week. Fuck yeah. I've left the house only to get beer. So, it's been a wonderful, wonderful week here. I haven't had any responsibilities except homework, for my graduate program. And I've been trying to write as much as I can, but it's interesting, when you're happy and laid back, it's hard to write. For that reason, I think this road trip CD that I've been working on is definitely probably going to be about an EP. It's going to be like 8 or 9 tracks, which is fine. I mean, 2 weeks to write 8 or 9 tracks, that'll work for the CD. That's fine. But like I said, I've been here for the last week, back in this house. This is the house I grew up in from 5th grade on. And my parents just got divorced a couple years ago, and my dad's been living in this house, and he sold it, and this will be like the last day I ever get to hang out in here. So that's why I've been here for about a week, just trying to take it all in and, I don't know, put an end to a chapter, I suppose. I don't know. But it's really interesting kind of just walking around the house looking at it from that perspective. Like, I've done a lot of dumb shit here. It's a lot of stuff where I look like, oh, fuck. That's right, I threw up over there, or like, I think I passed out over there, and Mom got mad. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing this past week. Nothing too exciting. But we have some questions from the video, so why don't we get to those? First question, what happened to the Jellyfish Brigade tracks? I've been over this before. I had to get rid of them, basically, along with anything that wasn't of my creation or sent to me from somebody specifically to post to the webpage. I got a couple copyright infringements, and YouTube is not very friendly about copyright infringements, so that's what happened. If somebody from the Jellyfish Brigade, or even representing it in some way, if they sent me an email or something like, hey, can you post our tracks, I would be more than happy to do that. I love Jellyfish Brigade, but I had to take them down just because I don't want my YouTube account to get canceled. Alright, next question. What are your top 3 favorite movies and top 3 favorite artists? I'm not a big movie guy. I don't watch a lot of movies. When I do watch movies, they're either in unintentionally cheesy films, everybody knows Troll 2 in The Room. One of my favorite cheesy movies is called Shocker. It's a Wes Craven movie from probably late 80s, early 90s with Peter Berg. It's fucking hilarious. But I would say my top 3 movies without giving it much thought. I really like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's an excellent movie. I really, really like Step Brothers. Everybody likes Step Brothers. It's just an excellent film. And one that I found out not many people have seen or know about or even really appreciate is Walk Hard, the story of Dewey Cox. It's John C. Reilly basically doing a mock impression of the biopic movies, so Ray Charles and Johnny Cash and that shit. And it's just my sense of humor, so I like it. So when someone says they hate Walk Hard, I'm like, okay, you probably don't have the same sense of humor as me. Alright, favorite 3 artists. You had mentioned that one of them was probably Blaze B, and you're correct, so I'm not going to throw him in there just for that sake. When I thought about it, I don't know, I had this question a couple months ago, and when I actually thought about it, I came up with Idea, and it's well documented in many of my past videos why I think Idea is the greatest hip-hop lyricist of all time. So, I'm not going to go into that. Idea. MF Doom, because of his ability to create entire works of art, entire CDs, which seems to be a lost art these days. I don't see as many people striving to create a full CD that blends together and sounds good and sounds like they should be in that sequence, like from start to finish. I don't see that very much anymore. Of course, I don't listen to nearly as much music as I used to, but it seems to be a lot of singles. And I guess maybe that's the way it's always been, and maybe I just don't dig deep into the hip-hop music like I used to, but what I do know is MF Doom is probably, in my knowledge, the best at being able to create a full CD from start to finish that sounds good, sounds different from his other CDs, and sounds like it's a bunch of songs that belong together and belong in that form, that sequence from start to finish. And third, this is going to kind of maybe surprise a lot of you, but Jeff Tweedy. I really like Wilco. Easily my favorite non-hip-hop group. I know it's kind of dad rock, but I really like Wilco. Another one of those groups that can take songs and make them sound good from start to finish in full sequence CD form. That's not even a real thing that I just said, but you know what I mean. So Jeff Tweedy from Wilco, I have to put in there. Bas van Wingerden. I've never known how to pronounce your name, but of course I remember who you are, man. You made a comment. Yeah, of course I remember who you are. Thanks again, dude, for all the support over these years. I'm surprised you're still watching my dumbass talk. But thank you for it anyway. I do appreciate it. Pink Taco says, "You're cute." Thank you. That's not something I get very frequently, so I was going to point that out. Thank you. Pink Taco, I don't know who you are, but I don't know. Thanks. Have I ever thought about opening my own record label? Interesting that you should ask, because me and Joey, Lucid Optics, have been talking about that for probably like a year now. We've never really started anything too concrete. However, he called me yesterday. I'm going to try to get a hold of him today. If you're listening, watching this, Joey, call me, like now. I mean, not if it's your second time watching the video, but if it's your first time and you haven't called me, give me a call. This Weekend Lounge webpage that I was working on, I'm basically just going to turn to the Ink Escape Records webpage. I don't see why not. There's still going to be the Weekend Lounge mixtapes. Those are all the best tracks that people have sent me to put on the Terry Hesticles webpage. But yeah, it's not going to resemble what a traditional record label looks like, which is good, because obviously the way to make money off music is changing, and I personally don't even know if eventually you're going to be able to make money off promoting people. Before it was like you could get a stable of musicians, and then you were the ones doing all the promotional work, and then you set up shows and you sold stuff here and there and whatever. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it seems to be the gist of how it used to work. But now, with the internet, you can get everything free. I mean, sure, you can buy it through iTunes, but people can get it free if they want to. So I think there's been a shift in kind of philosophy that you need to be able to be successful with something like a record label. You can't go into having a record label with the main goal of making money, because you will probably fail miserably. To be able to have a successful record company, it's got to be something like Def Jux or Rhymesayers, where the main goal, sure, money's in there somewhere, being able to have a career out of this is in there, but the main goal really is to spread and promote musicians that you think deserve to be heard. And that needs to be the main passion, the main thing that keeps you going and working towards this goal. It can't just be, well, this is going to make me money, because you're in the wrong fucking field if that's your philosophy. But I think that's how it used to be. Like when record labels first came around, up until probably just about a decade or so ago, it was people that couldn't make music using people that could make music as puppets to make them money. I mean, maybe, I'm sure it wasn't all like that, but maybe I'm just cynical, but that seems to be how it's worked. You look at any of the stories online of famous people. Who was, I'm trying to think, the reason I'm stuttering on this, I'm trying to think of one in particular. Lyle Lovett. I mean, okay, he's not talented, but that dude sold a lot of CDs, and his first record that he sold, he owed money on it because they only gave him so much for his contract, and then he had to cover the expenses of the recording sessions. That dude sold a fuck ton of these CDs and still owed the record company money. He didn't get paid for making a CD. He paid them to make them money. And they used to be able to get away with shit like that. Now, you can just go be your own promoter. So what I think Ink Escape will eventually be, if we're successful at it, is kind of just like a haven, like a website where you know there's good new up-and-coming hip-hop musicians and some obviously established ones that are linked to the page, and you can get their music there. I mean, as an artist, I think it helps the artist because you could have your own separate Bandcamp page, but you're not, if you are involved in a big collaborative of dope hip-hop musicians, it's much easier to get discovered than if you're trying to do that on your own. So what I want Ink Escape to be is a web page where you just have a bunch of really good musicians in the same place. You got the featured artist areas, and you got bios on everybody, and you got places where you can purchase their music, and yeah, you also have other cool stuff. Like I know it sounds old school, but I'd like a message board, because I always find it interesting, like how hip-hop discussions can go, but maybe not. But I know there'll be like podcasts. I think that'll be my main thing with the web page. I'd like to branch out and do a lot of podcasts with artists. There'll be Weekend Lounge mixtapes, which are obviously, I think I already said that, the best stuff that gets sent to us. And it'll basically, our idea for Ink Escape is just a haven of good hip-hop. It's a place where you can go and you know that there's a certain brand of hip-hop that you can find there, and if you'd like to discover new kinds of hip-hop in that kind of general realm of hip-hop, then that's the place to go. That's our idea. Or at least that's my idea. I know Joey's got some other ideas as well, and we'll work together. We'll get this thing done. I don't know when. Hopefully within the next couple weeks. I could be way off on that. But, yeah. So that's our idea for the record label. Alright, so I think I'll make a video tomorrow in Chicago, and that'll end this road trip. However, when will that be? August. In August, I'm moving from this duty station in Illinois all the way to Oak Harbor, Washington, near Seattle. So I'll be doing another road trip. I'll be driving out there, so we can do this again. It's been fun, guys. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much for asking questions, watching these videos during this road trip. It's given me something to do when I'm stuck in places like fucking Nebraska and Kansas. Yeah. Oh, one last thing. I noticed how many of the comments would say that either I remind you, and I only got a minute left, but that what I say reminds you of you and stuff. I think that's amazing, because I don't relate to many people in this world, and to know that through this little web page, this little YouTube horseshit thing I got going on, that like-minded individuals are connecting and talking to each other, even in many instances making music together, it gives me a sense of purpose. It really does. I mean, I got a career purpose where I'm working hard to hopefully be a professor, but as far as a life purpose, like, I'm not saying that this is my life purpose or anything, or even that I even have one, but it makes me feel good about what I do when I see like-minded people conversing about things in the comment section. So, all right, thanks a lot, guys. I gotta go. 15 minutes is up. Peace.